Welcome students. Today we are going to learn about Z transform. Z transform is a mathematical tool which is used to analyze discrete time signals. Discrete time signals means those signals which are discrete in time. They are represented by x of n, where n is called the index of signal, and it can have the value as 1, 2, 3, or negative side it can have the value of -1, -2, and so on. So a discrete time signal is represented by xn, and Z transform is used to analyze these discrete time signals, or when we will talk about system, so it will be used for analysis of discrete time system. Now, how to calculate this Z transform? For any discrete time signal xn, the Z transform is written as Z transform of xn or x of z, and it is calculated by summation from n is equals to minus infinity to plus infinity xn z की power minus n. Now we can calculate this Z transform by this formula. So how to use this formula? Suppose a discrete time signal is given as 1, 1, 3, 5. This representation is sequence representation for discrete time signal. Now, how to find the Z transform for this discrete time signal? As given, the Z transform formula xz is summation from n is equals to minus infinity to plus infinity xn z power minus n. Now, our xn exists from 0, 1, 2, 3. From 0 to 3. xn is existing from 0 to 3. So now, in this formula, the summation ranges from n is equals to 0 to 3, because our discrete time signal is existing from 0 to 3. The time duration is from 0 to 3. So now the formula will become xn z to the power minus n. Summation ranges from 0 to 3. Now we will expand this summation. When we will expand this summation, for n is equal to 0, we will get x0 z to the power minus 0, plus for n is equals to 1, we will get x1 z to the power minus 1, plus for n is equals to 2, we will get x2 z to the power minus 2, plus for n is equals to 3. n is equals to 3, which is the last term of this series, we will get x3 z to the power minus 3. So now, after expanding this summation, we will get x0 z to the power minus 0 for n is equals to 0, plus x1 z to the power minus 1 for n is equals to 1, plus x2 z to the power minus 2 for n is equals to 2, and similarly for n is equals to 3, we will get x3 z to the power minus 3. Now what we are supposed to do in the next step? Next step, we have to put the values of x0, x1, x2 and x3 in this equation. So the value of x0, that is 1. So we will put here 1. Z to the power 0, that will be 1. So no need to write it. So the first term is 1, plus x1, the value is again 1. So we will write 1 into Z inverse, that is Z inverse plus x2. The value of x2 is 3. We have to see the value in this signal. The value of x2 is 3. So we will write here 3. With this we have to write z to the power minus 2 plus x3. The value of x3 is 5. So we will write 5 here, 5z to the power minus 3. So this way we can calculate the z transform for this signal xn. Now we will take another example. Suppose the xn is given by 1, 3, 5, 7. Origin at 3. This arrow we are putting here, which will actually show that this is for n is equals to 0. So this one is at n is equals to minus 1. This 5 is at n is equals to 1. 7 is at n is equals to 2. Now we are supposed to find the Z transform for this signal. So the Z transform will be calculated by summation n minus infinity to plus infinity xn z to the power minus n. Now in our this xn signal, we can see the n ranges from minus 1 to 2. The range for n is from minus 1 to 2. So now we will change the limit of this summation from minus 1 to 2. The rest part is xn z to the power minus n. Now we will expand this series. For n is equals to minus 1, we will get x minus 1 z to the power. Now here z to the power minus n is there. So when we will put minus 1, this will become minus minus plus. So this will give us z. So we will write here z plus for n is equals to 0, we will get x0 z to the power minus 0 plus for n is equals to 1, we will get x1 z to the power minus 1 plus for n is equals to 2, we will get x2 z to the power minus 2. Now what we are supposed to do, we have to put these values x minus 1, x0, x1, x2. We have to put these all signal values into this equation. So we will start putting these values. X at minus 1, that means xn at n is equals to minus 1. The value is 1. So we will put a 1 here. 1 into z plus x0. xn for n is equals to 0. That is 3 into, now z to the power 0. Minus 0 will give you 1. So no need to write it. x1. x1 means xn for n is equals to 1. The value is 5. So we will write here 5 z inverse plus x2. For n is equals to 2, the signal is having the value 7. So we will write here 7 z to the power minus 2. So the z transform value is z plus 3 plus 5z inverse plus 7z to the power minus 2. Now we can see when xn is having the values only for positive n, when xn is having the values only for positive n values, then we were getting negative powers of z in xz. When xn is existing from positive as well as negative values of n, then we can see xz is having positive as well as negative powers of Z. So, when our signal is only at the positive side, we will get the negative powers of Z in XZ. When our signal is existing for positive as well as negative values of N, then XZ is having the positive and negative powers of Z. Now in the next case, we will discuss when xn is existing only for negative values or 0. Then we can see, suppose xn is given as 1, 3, 9, 7. Origin at 7. So this is n is equals to 0. This is for n is equals to minus 1. This is for n is equals to minus 2. And this is for n is equals to minus 3. Now when we have to calculate the Z transform, we can use the formula n minus infinity to plus infinity xn z to the power minus n. Now in our signal, the n ranges from minus 3 to 0. So in the next step, we will change the range of summation from minus 3 to 0. The rest part is xn z to the power minus n. In the next step, we will expand this summation for n is equals to minus 3. We will get these terms as x minus 3, z minus minus 3. Z minus minus 3 will give us z cube. So, here we have to write z cube plus for n is equals to minus 2, we will get x minus 2 z square plus for n is equals to minus 1, we will get x minus 1 z plus 1, or we can write it as z, plus for n is equals to 0, we will get x0 z to the power minus 0. Now we will put these values of signal in this equation. So starting from x of minus 3. X of minus 3, we can see here n is equals to minus 3. The signal value is 1. So we will put 1 z cube plus x minus 2. For n is equals to minus 2, the signal value is 3. So we will put a 3 here with z square plus x minus 1. For n is equals to minus 1, the value of xn is 9. So we will put a 9 here plus x0. The value is 7. Z to the power minus 0 will give you a 1. So the signal Z transform is Z cube plus 3Z square plus 9Z plus 7. Now we can see when our signal is at the negative side of index, then we are getting all positive powers of Z in XZ. All the positive powers are there. So, we can conclude when our xn is right-sided sequence means it exists only for positive n, or we can say it is a causal sequence or causal signal. Then we have seen that the xz will contain only negative powers of z, like xz is equals to AZ inverse plus BZ minus 2, where A and B are constants. Those constants can be evaluated with the help of signal itself. So when our xn or signal is a right-sided sequence, or it is defined for positive values of n, or it is a causal signal, both all these things are referring to the same signal parameters, so then we will get only negative powers of z in Z transform. That is the first thing. Second thing, when xn is left sided, left side sequence yani left side sequence means it exists only for negative values of n, or it is an anti-causal signal. Now we have to remember this thing, that anti-causal signal exists only at the negative side. No positive part is there. Only at the negative side when the signal is existing, then it is called anti-causal or left side sequence. So when xn is a left side sequence, then we will get only positive powers of z in xz. As we have already estimated in the third numerical that our signal was confined in negative side only, so we got all the positive powers of z in xz. Like we have got xz is equals to az plus bz square, likewise. So when we get only positive powers, no negative power is there, that means our signal is anti-causal. Now the third case is when our signal is both side sequence, means it exists for positive as well as negative values of n, or we can say it is a non-causal signal. Non-causal signal can have some positive values, but they are supposed to have negative values at definite. They should have some negative values, otherwise they will not be termed as non-causal signals. So this kind of signal which is having the value at 1, 2 and -1 and -2 for value of n index, so this is a non-causal signal because it is having some positive n values and some negative n values. These both are a compulsion. If positive n is absent, then it will be called as anti-causal. If negative n is absent, then it is called causal. So causal plus anti-causal is non-causal. So now non-causal signal is both side sequence, means they will exist for positive n and negative n both. Now when we will estimate the Z transform for these both sided sequence, we will get positive powers as well as negative powers of Z in xz. So if you are getting the Z transform like xz is equals to az inverse plus bz to the power -2 plus cz, if this kind of Z transform you are getting, so you can see there are some negative powers and there is one positive power of Z in Z transform. It means the signal whose Z transform is given here, it is an non-causal signal or both-sided sequence. So it is a both-sided sequence, that is why we are getting positive as well as negative powers of Z. So in this way we can conclude that if the signal is a right-sided sequence or causal signal, we will get the negative powers of Z. If it is a left side sequence or anti-causal sequence, then we will get positive powers of Z. If it is both side sequence, then we will get positive as well as negative powers of Z. Now we will take some examples. Suppose xz is equals to 1 plus 3z inverse plus 7z to the power minus 2 plus 2z is given. And you ask whether this signal is causal, anti-causal or non-causal. So now we can see we are having negative powers of z as well as positive power of z. So when both type of powers are existing in Z transform, it is a non-causal signal. So non-causal signal or both-sided signal. So it will exist for positive as well as for the negative values of n. When we will find the inverse Z transform by inspection, just by observing these power. So we know the constant term represents n is equals to 0 value. Then z to the power minus 1 term represents n is equals to 1 coefficient or signal value. Then z to the power minus 2 represents n is equals to 2. Z to the power 1 represents n is equals to minus 1. Now we can see this Z transform, the inverse of this Z transform or the equivalent time domain signal of this Z transform will exist at 0, 1, 2 and minus 1. So it will start from n is equals to minus 1, then 0, then 1, then 2. At n is equals to minus 1, the signal value is 2. So we will write a 2 here. N is equals to 0, the signal value is 1. So we will write a 1. N is equals to 1, the signal value is 3. So we will write a 3. N is equals to 2. This n is equals to 2. The signal is having the value 7. So it is 7. Now our time domain signal is 2, 1, 3, 7. So we will take another example. Suppose Z transform is given as 5 plus 7z inverse plus 4z to the power minus 2. Now as we can see, we are having only negative powers of z. So the signal is causal signal or right-sided signal. This is a right-sided sequence. So now if we are supposed to find the time domain signal xn, then how to find it? This constant term is for n is equals to 0. Z to the power minus 1 will give the signal at n is equals to 1. Z to the power minus 2 will give the signal at 2. So now xn will exist from 0 to 2. Now we will write the signal. For n is equals to 0, the signal is 5. N is equals to 1, the signal is 7. N is equals to 2, the signal is 4. So this way we can calculate the Z transform or the inverse Z transform just by the inspection of a Z transform. So this is the introductory part of the Z transform. We will discuss further in the next lectures.